Hey everybody, welcome back to PV Politics. Thank you so much for joining me. So as of right now, I'm currently on a goal to get to 100 subscribers by July 15th. So if you guys can help me get to 100 subscribers by July 15th, I would be greatly appreciative. Yeah, other than that, we're just going to go ahead and get right into this. So in this video, what I want to do is something I very rarely do, and this may be the only time I do it. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time. So basically, if you don't already know what I'm doing, basically I'm going to be doing a video state by state, 2020 presidential election results, based on each state's approval of Donald Trump. Now the reason why I want to do this is because I often talk about how polls aren't everything, but polls are important for sure. There's no doubt about that. But I don't really talk exclusively about polls. In fact, I very rarely will I do a video exclusively talking about polls, just the polls. But in this video, I'm going to make an exception. We're going to go ahead and do that state-by-state results. Now, part of the reason why I don't generally do this is because anybody can do that. I mean, you just take a look at this, and you can just kind of figure out for yourself how the map would turn out if we just went by these poll numbers right here. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just, it gives me an opportunity to kind of talk about each state. It gives me an opportunity to talk about polls in general, because even though I don't talk about polls a whole lot, polls are important. So yeah, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get right into this. So we're just going to start over here on the East Coast. Now, oddly enough, Alaska isn't doing super great for Trump. Not bad. What is that? +5 net approval. And 5, we're going to make it that. So this is like between, between 2 and 5%, or 3 and 5%. There's no like select value or set value for what I do here. But yeah, let's go ahead and do Hawaii next. Hawaii is a -21, so that's a solid Biden right there, which is usually how it ends up in my usual predictions. Now for the the West Coast here, the 3 states on the West Coast, 28, 21, and 27, so well over 10%. And that's usually what the solid color is, as far as I'm concerned. 10% or more is the solid color, solid blue or solid red. And interestingly enough, Nevada is -10, Colorado's -13, and New Mexico is -11. So that also makes them solid, which is pretty interesting. Arizona's net +1, and that would actually go to Donald Trump. Utah is +11, so that would be solid for Trump. Idaho 19, Montana 6, Wyoming 27. That's pretty interesting. That would make that, but with +6, that would actually make Montana this color right here, between 5 and 10%. Now going down this row of states right here, let's go ahead and take a look. 9, 10, 6. We'll just do like 3 at a time. So 9 would be +9 would put it there. 10 would make South Dakota solid, and I already forgot 3. Yeah, +6. So that would actually make that. Now we're gonna ignore the districts here just for the sake of this video. Which I generally do anyway, but just for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and do that. And then moving down, Kansas is only +4, Oklahoma is +14, so That's pretty close. Not as close as it could be, while Oklahoma is pretty solid. Now it's interesting because the way these polls are turning out are not the way the polls, or excuse me, not the way the actual votes turn out. Colorado, uh, if I'm remembering correctly, the spread between Clinton and Trump in 2016 in the state of Colorado was it wasn't even 5%. So it wasn't this strong of a victory for the Democrat. It was actually relatively close, or I would characterize it as relatively close. I would actually characterize Colorado as that. Um, but if we're talking about chances, then yeah, I'd say it's pretty solid that it'll go blue. But if we're talking about actual results, Colorado is more like that. And particularly, I could say that because Colorado is my home state. That's where I live. So moving on to Texas. Texas is 7, so that would make it not blue, excuse me. That would make it between 5 and 10%, as you can see right here. Now we're going to go down this row of states right here. Now this row of states has a nickname because it kind of looks like a person. If you, let's see, if you kind of look at these states, it kind of looks like a person. See, this is his boot, his Missouri and Oklahoma kind of make up his belly. Iowa here makes up the face. You see the mouth and the nose, and Minnesota makes the hat. So it's a person, and I forget the person. There's a nickname for these 5 states right here, but I can't remember what it is. But no, they're not all going to be blue. Only a couple of them will, particularly Minnesota -5, Iowa -5. So that's actually a gain for the Democrat here in terms of Iowa. Missouri +8, +11 for Arkansas, +21. So Missouri would be between 5 and 10. Arkansas and Louisiana would be solid for Trump. Now, looking at the Electoral College, we're relatively even right now. Trump 116, Biden 114, just a few points spread, or a couple points spread there. All right, now we're just gonna go do the rest of the South for right now. So let's do. So Mississippi is +14, Alabama is +28. So those are both solid. No question there. Georgia is not solid. Georgia is actually very close. And let's take a look at Florida. Florida is surprisingly a little better. At 3 points, I would say that's between 2 and 5 points. This color right here, I'd say 1 or 2 points. This color right here will be like 3, 4, 5, et cetera, et cetera. But that's just kind of not a nothing solid. It's just a rule of thumb. Let's go ahead and take a look at South Carolina here, +12. So that would make it a solid for Donald Trump. Let's do Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina. So Kentucky and Tennessee would be solid, but North Carolina would not. That would be between 2 and 5%. It's at 4% positive net for Trump. Virginia is -5, so that would make for that between 2 and 5%, or whatever, 3 and 5%. Now let's take a look at West Virginia's +24. So it's pretty clear what that would be. Now already the South pushed Trump well above 200 and almost 100 points above Joe Biden. But now, now we're going to get into the rest of the Rust Belt here. Indiana is surprisingly not solid for Trump. That's actually going to be between 5 and 10, while Illinois is obviously solid. Let's see here. Pretty solid for the Democrat there. Wisconsin and Michigan are both -10. So surprisingly, that's a solid for the Democrat, assuming it's Joe Biden. Now Ohio is even. It's totally equal, but I am going to give Ohio to Donald Trump because he won that in 2016, and I think that's kind of where the trend is going here. Now, as for the rest of the country here, we're going to look at Maryland. I think it's pretty obvious what Maryland is. Negative 24, so that's a solid. DC, I don't even need to look. Delaware negative 10, New Jersey negative 12. So that's both of that is solid for the Democrat. Whoa, go away. Pennsylvania is negative 1. So this is often why I give Pennsylvania to Donald Trump, is because his approval versus his disapproval is so very close in this state, and both are relatively high. I think his approval is 48%, his disapproval is 49%. So, but I am going to give this just barely to the Democrat here. And then we already did New Jersey. New York is pretty obvious. And we're just going to do all of New England at once. Negative 17, negative 18 in Rhode Island, negative 26 in Massachusetts, negative 39, the highest in the entire country, in Vermont, negative 18 in New Hampshire. So that makes the bulk of New England very solid for Donald Trump, and that already gave him the presidency at 281 electoral votes. Whoa, go away. And Maine is negative 6. So just for the sake of this video, we're just going to make it just give it all. I'm not going to try and figure out different districts here. Okay, so that's the end of that. According to state polls, this is what we're looking at, according to Morning Consult here. 285 to Joe Biden, 253 to Donald Trump. Now, I'm going to go ahead now and kind of talk about things that I would change. Certainly, I would change these states right here. I think they would be a lot closer. I don't see Trump losing Iowa. I do see Colorado and Nevada going to Joe Biden, but I don't think it would. It's not going to be that spread, that wide of a spread. It's just not going to happen. New Mexico, I could leave New Mexico alone. That kind of outcome is certainly possible. Let's see here. The state of Arizona. Whoops, I didn't mean to click that. The state of Arizona, I actually see flipping blue. If we're talking in general, I see Arizona flipping blue. On top of that, I don't see Trump losing Maine second. And I think Trump will probably get at least one of these Rust Belt states, and I think it could be Pennsylvania. So, that's a horrible tie. That just sucks. Well, if nothing else, that kind of illustrates how close this election is really going to be. And it kind of falls in line with how polls are important because they give you an idea of what's going on, but they are not 100% accurate. They're just not. They're which is unfortunate. I mean, there is no way to get a 100% accurate picture of what's going on or of what could happen. And certainly there are other things I could change as well. Like, I don't necessarily see Montana or really any of these states going this lightly. I think Kansas could go a little lighter, but I don't think it'd be by that much. Missouri, I could see going that way. Georgia is certainly not going to be less than North Carolina, and Florida is going to be very close. And I think I almost said Arkansas, Kansas. Alaska here will be a lot more solid than that. I think Trump will have a better spread there than what they're depicting in the polls here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, do I think this tie is... this is certainly possible. This could certainly happen. Um, will it? I have no idea. At this point, I think anything could happen in the 2020 general election. Especially with, particularly because our candidates are Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Excuse me. But yeah, that's this is probably not going to be a tie. But if it's a tie, we can't just determine who the winner is going to be, because what happens then is the House of Representatives decides who will vote on president, and the Senate votes on vice president. Now that would be the 117th Congress. We don't know who that will be, because the 117th Congress also gets elected in 2020, and they take their seats on January 3rd, and then they have this vote on, I believe, January 6th. So the current makeup of Congress is not a good indicator, because the Senate, I think, will likely flip to the Democrats, and they'll very likely elect a Democrat as vice president. But I think the chances are pretty good that the House of Representatives will probably have a majority Republican state delegation. And what I mean by that is, in the House of Representatives, it's not each member that gets one vote to elect the president. It's actually each state delegation gets one vote. So the 53 California members in the House of Representatives would obviously vote for the Democrat, who will probably be Joe Biden. And so, but their vote only counts as one. They don't count as 53 votes. It just counts as one. So each state delegation gets one vote. So in states where there's a majority of Republicans in the delegation, they'll probably choose the Republican, or states where there's a majority Democrat, they'll probably choose the Democrat. However, like the state of Iowa, if the 116th Congress decided this, then 3 of their representatives are Democrats. So then they have 4 in the House of Representatives. So they would likely choose the Democrat. Where Colorado has 7 representatives in the House of Representatives. They would likely choose the Democrat, because 4 of those 7 are Democrats. But again, we have no idea what the because I'm talking about the 116th Congress. We have no idea what the 117th Congress is going to look like. It could be that Iowa elects one more Republican, and they end up 2 Republican, 2 Democrat, and Iowa ends up being deadlocked, which would be just nuts. So there is a map somewhere on this website, but I do not know where to find it. Let's see, other impeachment support. That's interesting. There's the 2024 map. Proportional. Oh geez. That gave me like 3 new tabs. I see what you're doing here. Okay. That's not exactly... Yeah, I thought that there was a map that allows you just... each state gets one vote. Oh, you know what? There's one thing I could try. Maybe USA, Canada. Let's try that. Because that... Yeah. Here we go. So you could kind of do it here. I know, and it includes Canada, which is kind of silly, but I can kind of demonstrate, because each state is worth 1. See, I click on California, that's 1. Colorado, that's 2. Iowa, let's say they still have 3 of 4 Democrats. That's 3. All of these states would obviously, more than likely at least, choose the Republican, Donald Trump. I'm just assuming that their total count is is Republican. Pennsylvania now has more Democrats, and there's a couple at-large Democrats over here. So it's virtually one person gets one vote in that particular situation. I know Delaware here has one representative. Yeah, this would I forgot about Hawaii here. Both of their representatives. I think a majority of these states. I'd have to do the research, but again, we're not talking about we're not talking about the 116th Congress. We're actually talking about the 117th Congress would make this decision. So this would probably be more or less what it would look like. I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just none. Okay, now I got the black here. We can just black out Canada. Okay. Oh, and Alaska. I forgot about Alaska. Alaska would likely go red. But yeah, we could just kind of assume that some of these states would deadlock. Let's go ahead and take a look, just for fun. So 7 Democrats. Okay, as of right now, the state of Michigan has 7 Democrats, 1 Libertarian, and 6 Republicans. So that would be a majority vote for the Democrat right now. So that'd be 1 more vote. Let's look at Wisconsin. And governor, U.S. House delegation, 5 Republicans, 3 Democrats. Okay, so they would definitely vote for the Republican then. Let's look at Virginia. And again, this is the 116th Congress. Not the 117th. The 117th will definitely be different. I think the Democrats will get more seats, but I don't think they're going to get the delegation needed. Okay, Virginia is a Democratic delegation. I'm curious about Maine. The state of Maine. Just kind of go off of the 2016, just cause. All right, we got 2 Democrats. Okay, so they would definitely vote. The state of Maine would definitely vote for the Democrat. And let's see, the state of Nevada. I had to look at it for a second there. Nevada. Yep. And House delegation. So who do we got here? 3 Democrats, 1 Republican. Okay, so they would definitely vote for the Democrat as well. And now I do want to double check Ohio. I'm pretty sure they have majority Republicans because that state is gerrymandered like a Christmas tree. 12 Republicans, 4 Democrats. Isn't that interesting? 75% of their delegation is Republican, but Trump barely got 51% of the popular vote in that state. Isn't that just interesting? Okay, gotta love it. But yeah, that would stay red. I am curious about Florida. Let's double check Florida. I think it goes without saying that most of their delegations, or their delegation is, oh yeah, 14 Republicans, 13 Democrats, but that's a much more fair balance, most definitely. Let's see here. That's the House page. We want Florida's page. Florida, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up so you guys can probably see it better. Their districts look to be a bit more fair. I don't really see a whole lot of gerrymandering going on. You can tell if there's gerrymandering going on. There might be a little bit right here. I don't know. You guys probably can't see that. In District 20, it looks like there's a little bit of a stretch going right there, but that's not a lot. Most of these districts seem pretty decently sized. 5 looks like it could do a little better, but other than that looks pretty good. and they got 14 Republicans, 13 Democrats, which seems fair. I mean, the Republicans did pretty good in the state of Florida, so I'd say there's no gerrymandering there going on. It doesn't look like they could have a tie, 13 to 14, the two, one odd, one even. So yeah, they couldn't even have a tie. That's only 26. Yet, or 27, something like that. But yeah, I think it gets pretty clear. Let's double check. I didn't even think to check Arizona. Let's go ahead and do that really quick. Okay, so looking at the state of Arizona here, it looks like they have 5 Democrats and 4 Republicans, so that actually changes that. Arizona would go Democratic then. Texas, I don't think there's any need to check Texas, but let's do it anyway. Because why not, you know? I mean, we're here. Yeah, 23 Republicans to 13 Democrats. Let's go ahead and look at those. Let's see here. Not bad. There's probably a little bit of I know there is some gerrymandering going on here in the state of Texas. Just look at, you probably can't see it, but District 35, state, the state of Texas, District 35. That's very clearly a gerrymander going on right there. I'm sure you guys could see what I'm looking at right here, but it grabs a big chunk of San Antonio, and then it kind of comes, just barely squeezes in between 15 and 21, and then it kind of grabs a little bit of whatever this is. So that's totally a gerrymander right there. In fact, that looks like a gerrymander that benefits a Democrat. So that's not right. That needs to change. Oh, and I got rid of it again. Yeah, I think you guys kind of get it. Like, as of right now, the 116th Congress would likely select a Republican, or Donald Trump, to be the next president of the United States. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. But again, it's not going to be this Congress. This is just kind of to kind of demonstrate how that would work, how the delegation would work out. As far as I could tell, there is no evenly or even delegation here. I could be wrong, but I looked at a lot of the states that I think would generally be pretty close, and I didn't see any ties in the delegations between Democrats and Republicans. So I think it becomes pretty clear who would win. And it's likely that this will probably continue to be the case into 2020. But you never know. I mean, what if Florida changes their mind, and what if Wisconsin goes fully Democratic? Then this could end up being the case. But as of right now, the best I could tell would be this. So yeah, that's pretty much going to do it then. Go away. So yeah, that kind of became another let's see what would happen in the case of a tie video. So you kind of got 2 topics in one video. So yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, things like that. Let me know what you think, or dislike the video, whatever you want to do. And I am trying to get to 100 subscribers by July 15th, so if you can help me do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, consider joining my Patreon. It's just $1 a month. You get some exclusive Patreon content, plus you get early access to my videos. And I kind of go to my Patreon to ask, which I only just recently did, ask for video ideas, things like that. So you guys can directly contact me on there, or I will just ask. And if you have any ideas for videos, you can just pile them on me there. Other than that, that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all are doing good, and I hope you take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'll see y'all again soon.